Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now, here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Hey Doc, want to start a successful social media marketing campaign that will get you anywhere from 10 to 45 qualified new patients contacting you for appointments? Of course you would. You probably already have been shown how to do it, so why haven't you implemented? Most doctors don't have the time and they don't care to spend the money trying to figure out what methods work. 3S Chiropractic Systems has put in the time for you and have been testing the methods for years, so if you want to surge new patients every month, that's it, right at your fingertips. The company is run by chiropractors with years of web and social media marketing experience, offering you a complete, affordable, done-for-you package. Get this system. It's swooping across the globe and is geographically exclusive, so find out right now if your area is still available. They offer full money-back guarantee for the first month, so there is absolutely no risk. Apply at 3schiropracticsystems.com/TCP to make sure you don't miss out. All right, TCP listeners, I have an incredible guest today, and that is actually Dr. Derek Bittner. Dr. Derek, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this conversation today because I never get to talk about this kind of stuff. So that's my hook for the day for everyone. So you got to listen to the entire episode. That's going to get really good. It's going to be juicy. So, hey, Dr. Derek, tell us a little bit about you as a person, but then also you as a chiropractor and a business person as well.
Yeah, me as a person, I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm a doctor, I'm a businessman, but probably my thing I love the most is that I'm a coach. I coach my kid. I have two boys, 14 and 12, and I've been coaching their sports for years now. And when a kid calls me Coach Bittner, there's something about that moment, and it's always sticks out to me. So I love to go up north. I love boating. I just like to help people. And that's kind of where I'm at now in business, where I've moved on, where I just want to help doctors become successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where you and I met. Like, basically, that's where we connected about a year. It's probably been almost a year ago, where it's just like I'm going to come back to that word, like you're a businessman. I love that, by the way, that you're an entrepreneur and a chiropractor, a chiropreneur. And you just, in terms of like what I've learned from you, is just you truly do know the business of healthcare. And we're going to kind of touch on that in a minute. But that you also have this desire and this passion to really help other chiropractors become more successful in both life and business. And that's why I'm excited for the conversation today. So what I'd like to do is actually throw it to you in terms of like the affirmation, the quote. So what is it, those words of meaning that you want to drop on doctors today?
Well, the one quote that, always sticks out to me, and I talk to my kids about this, I talk to when I'm coaching, and I talk to business people, is that a winner is that person who gets up one more time than they're knocked down. And, we've all been attacked at some level. Myself, from when I was, in private practice for 10 years, seeing, 700 patients a week, that if it was, not getting that new patient, or if it was the insurance company or something, we're always getting attacked. And so I just never stayed down. And that's really the only reason I'm where I'm today. The other big affirmation that I think about is, in business only, but is no doesn't really mean no. And my favorite story about this is that I was with one of my coaches early on in my practice, and we're in the Bahamas, and we want to go to this great dinner, and he goes, I'll get us in. So he's been my coach for quite a few years, and he walks into this restaurant, and me and the wife and the kids, we're all sitting out there waiting for him to wave us in. He goes, oh, nope, can't come in, they're full. Man, I'm like, he's in 1 second and out in 1 second? This isn't like him. And so I said, hang on, I'll be right back. So I go in there. I do the thing. The lady tells me no. I overcome the first one. She tells me no again. I overcome the second one. And then the third one, I go, well, how's $20? She goes, okay, you're in. So she goes, and so there, there's all these chairs open. I walk out and I wave in. I said, come on in. And he goes, how did you do that? I said, well, no doesn't mean no. I said, it's just we have to find out their why. What did they want? And he was like, I thought that only worked in closing patients. I said, nope, works in everything. So I guess one thing is funny is that's what stands by me is no doesn't mean no right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that certainly that works in business, and it works with my kids, like my 3 and 6 year old. They've learned that with Dad, no does not mean no, and they negotiate the heck out of every situation, which I love, by the way, because they're going to be entrepreneurs. I want to come back to about do you think that far too many chiropractors lay down, like they get knocked down and they just stay down? Is that true?
Yeah, my belief that is true. And what I've seen here, just reaching out to you over a year ago, and the reason I started this is, I'm a private guy. I don't tell many people what I do or what I own and the success I've had. But I'm just seeing way too many doctors that are good friends of mine go out of business. And the opportunity is right there in front of them. I know I shared a little bit about, but, just kind of give people a heads up is, I went from 0 to 700 in a few years. Did that for about 7-8 years, and I became 1% unhappy in practice. And that 1% was I wasn't able to coach my kids' sports. And I could have easily just folded right there, but I said, how do I figure this out so I can have everything I want in life? And at that moment, that was the turning moment to what changed my business and my life today, is that moment I said, I got to figure a way. And so I went and figured out how to open up, at one time I had 6 chiropractic offices. I have 2 physical therapy offices, medical clinics with neurologists, surgeons, anesthesiologists. We do EEGs, EMGs, MRIs. And the reason I tell you that is that it was there, but if I didn't have that one moment, 1% unhappy, and I didn't do an action, I wouldn't be here today. And one of my best friends just went out of business in chiropractic. He lives down the street. I talk to him every day. And I'm like, dude, you missed this, this, and this. You missed it. I told you you had to get on and do this. And he never took action. And I'm just tired of seeing it. I know chiropractors are one of the best people I've ever met. They're the biggest hearts. They'll do anything for most people. We're just missing out on the business aspect. We just got to be better business people.
The struggle is real. Like it is. And I mean, we love to talk about struggle and how, especially on TCP, we eat struggle for lunch, I say, as chiropractors. And, that I know this is what the real struggle was for you, is that 1% unhappiness. But, and
don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of other struggles.
Oh, of course. I know, but we can only pin it down to one, right? Let's do it one today.
That was the turning moment.
That was the turning point for you. And that pivot for you too. I mean, because like you talk about this, like MRIs and anesthesiologists, and just honestly, just a massage therapist getting someone in my office would have been like, I have no idea how to do this. Like it seemed like overwhelming. Like, how did you learn how to do all of this? How did you to not just be able to find those people, but to train them? And then I'm sure you must have incredible systems, because I know you have a great quality of life. You're not in your practice every day. How did you do it?
Well, I like to call it dumb tax. I think you probably heard of dumb tax. You spend a lot of dumb tax, which means I spent a lot of money doing things wrong.
Okay.
Not knowing what I didn't know. But the other thing is I went out and I got a great coach. And I've had multiple coaches throughout my entire career. Is that I always tell people I'm not the smartest guy, but I'm a doer. I'm a worker and I'm a doer, and I just find the right people to plug in and learn from, and I just do what they tell me to do. And so when I went and found the gentleman that was doing what I was doing, I said, wow, what are you doing? He said, do this, this, and this. And guess what I did? This, this, and that. And so that's really how I've grown. And how do I continue to work in my clinic from afar, like at my house, is I have great systems. And even more is I've trained my office managers. The number one key is to pay your office managers well, but train them well. Pour into them as much as you can. When you think you've poured into them enough, add some more time with them. And both my office managers have been with me, 5-6 years. And a lot of times I don't even need to go into clinics. I talk to them daily by email. Our systems are set up for success. And so that's really what's been done.
Let's say that, well, I'm gonna step back here too, because I hope it's okay. I always ask, I'm like everyone who's a listener, or if I'm speaking, I'm always like, is it okay that we actually talk about money? And people are like, yes, let's talk about money. So let's talk about money. I mean, because let's face it, this is healthcare, but it's also a business. And like you said, there's far too. I get so passionate about this because there's way too many chiros who are going out of business. And let's face it, cash flow solves problems, like it does. But the
problems.
Yeah, it solves a lot of problems. It even solves relationship problems at home. So let me, because your knowledge runs deep. I'm a chiro. I come to you. I'm a doc. I come to you and I go, look, I get this great practice. I'm seeing 200 a week or, whatever. But I want to expand. Like, where do I start if I come to you and I ask you that question? What's the first thing I do?
Well, the first time is like getting on a phone call with me. We have to have a vetting process, because every practice is so different. And we have to figure out where your patients are spending money in healthcare besides your office. Mm-hmm. I knew where mine were, but the vetting process is so important, is we got to figure out where to dive in. And so many doctors do this, but they don't really vet their process. They don't look at the demographics. They don't look at all those little things and say, here's what I need. They just do, here's what I want. And that's what gets people in trouble. And then they go, well, I tried that and I went out of business. Well, because it didn't really fit your practice. So for me, get on a phone call with me, we would find out where you're at, what type of demographics you have on patients, what your goals are. Is it an extra $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month? And really start to work towards those goals of, you already have the patients. They are spending money in healthcare besides you, if you like it or not. You just got to learn how to own the other side of the house. So wherever else they're spending, how do you take control of that and bring it in-house? And that's what I did for me.
It's not about new patients then, is it?
It's about maximizing your patients. It's about, if I have a patient and they're buying 5 things, why don't I sell them all 5 things? And that's kind of what I did. And I know we're going to share this with them later, is that all my spreadsheets that I share, people look at those spreadsheets wrong. They look at them like, oh, it's more work for my staff. It's more work for this. The reason I did those spreadsheets was because now I know exactly where that patient's going, who they're seeing, what type of doctor they're seeing. I know everything about them, just like Google. I mean, you've Googled something, then you get on Facebook, and guess what? You're like, oh, I just looked at those metal koozies, and it's on my Facebook. Because everybody's tracking you, because why? They want to see where you're spending money. Mm-hmm. Doctors have to think it's the same way as a business. Man, you got 200 people coming through your door that want to spend money. Find out where they're spending money and open that, because they already trust and love you. So why not make money off them and also give them a great product?
This is interesting because, who was it? One of my mentors is Russell Brunson. And I think it was Russell, or it was one of the other people inside of the inner circle with him. And they were talking about relational sales. So it's just basically selling another product or service to an existing customer. I mean, these are the people who have already invested in you, and they are the ones. So it's almost like you have maybe a dream 100 or 200 people that just every time you have a new service, they will always invest in it. They'll always follow you and invest in you. Versus having to, like I kind of alluded to, it's not always about going and getting the new patients. I mean, I remember getting 100 new patients in 1 month. It was exhausting. And I had one service that I offered them.
Yeah, and now if you look back and when I practiced just like you, and I look back, I'm like, wow, I just missed 5 other services that person wanted. And the cool thing about that is, let's say you did have 5 other services, maybe 4 of your other patients come in from those other services, and then they get on to chiropractic. And so now you had one coming in for, massage, and now that person becomes there. You have one coming in for a neurologist, and now they become a chiropractic patient. And so now you didn't have to even go get it; they were already in your service.
It's interesting, because we're probably, people might be listening to this and think we're heretics, that. But
I was worried about that.
Here's the lesson for the person who's listening and very just closed to any of these ideas, is that you have to be open. Because I guarantee right now, I was in practice 13 years, and the first 5 years, the way, like I was doing things and bringing things into my practice 2 years later, around year 7 versus year 5 that I never would have considered, So you have to be open, right? And this is just good business is helping and adding services to your practice. So this is a really cool discussion today. So I'm gonna just make sure that I give everyone here the opportunity also that they can actually open the show notes, or they can head over to the chiropracticphilanthropist.com. We're going to have a link actually for, you have this very generous offer where they can actually click on the link and they can get access to a downloadable multiple streams free handout. And actually there's a video training and tutorial from you personally as well. So they can actually learn how they can actually add multiple streams of income and get time back in their practice, right?
Yeah, how to get time and how to get multiple streams in there. But the one thing you said, Ed, it is so true. I was in private practice just like you for 10 years. Is my mindset, the shift from my mindset from being to love to serve, to do, to saying, oh, it's okay to make money. It's okay to talk about money. I'm not a sellout. I don't sell out on any principles of chiropractic. I love chiropractic. My wife and I get adjusted. My kids get adjusted every week. We eat natural foods. We do all those things. But you know what? That doesn't save the fact that chiropractors are going out of business at a rapid rate, or they're not living the quality of life that they want. And so that's my goal, is to, hey, you can have your chiropractic, and that can be that, but let's also add to that. Let's get another stream coming in, and don't think of it as a sellout. Think of it as a good businessman or woman.
Yeah, it is good business. And so just so everyone knows too, so Dr. Bittner, it's Achiever 7 is the coaching company coaching program that you have then.
Yeah, and it is a coach. I like to call it a coaching program, but it's really just a way to help doctors talk about money, how to get cash flow in there, how to expand their business, and give them more freedom.
Yeah. One of the most interesting posts I saw that you had on social media was an MRI. So you had like this picture. I think a lot of people had got some attention too, because like it was like, hey, we got this new MRI, and I'm like, I have no idea how you could even get to that point. But you know what I mean? I remember when I came out of chiropractic college, I still had no idea how I would even see 500 people a week. So the thing that I want to get across to docs is that it's possible. It's possible that you can actually have a successful practice, have a successful business, and still be able to help tons of people inside of your practice as well. Because they are, like you said, they're getting those services. They're investing in their health somewhere else if they're not doing it in your office. All right. So are you ready, Doc? We're going to actually take you and put you into the cheesy TCP time machine. Are you ready?
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you, we're going to put you in the TCP time machine. We're going to send you back to a younger version of yourself. This is right after you came out of chiropractic college. You have all the life experience and knowledge you have today. What would you say to that younger self?
With all the knowledge I had today, the one thing that I wish I would have done open my mind to more business. I wish I wouldn't have been so close-minded about opportunities that passed me by. A gentleman that I know is very wealthy. He told me, he's like, Derek, you get 3 chances in life that are big, big opportunities. He goes, don't let them pass you by. And I remember that was like 3rd or 4th year in practice, and he told me that, and I was like, what does he mean by that? You know what? But he's absolutely right, is that one of those opportunities came to me, and I ran with it. And that's where I'm at today. And you know what? If he wouldn't have told me that, then I would have been like, oh, okay. So the time machine would be be more open-minded. Don't be so centrally focused, but just still love and serve, but also be a great business person.
Act. Just to execute and act, right? When the voice speaks, we talk about this often, it's like when the voice speaks, I act, like I execute now.
Yeah, that's, absolutely.
Yeah. So the last question that I have for you, and thank you for that, by the way, the last question I have for you is an invaluable resource. So anything that you are listening to currently, reading, on the bedside table, how are you getting expansion in your business or life, anything you think the docs should absolutely check out?
Well, I'm reading a book right now. It's called Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. So yeah, it's very simple, very easy, and it's not just a book, but it's also walks you through step by step, really diving into your business. And the thing I like about it is that it's breaking it down, and it makes you look at who you are. You know, what kind of leader am I? Am I doing those things? Because we like to sometimes put it on our staff or put it on the patient, but 99% of the time we all know it comes from us. And so this has really opened my eyes, like saying, oh, where am I not doing as well? Oh, that's because I'm not doing something. So Traction by Gino Wickman, really good book.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so listeners, you can actually head over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com, and we're going to have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with all the clickable links and resources as well. And so Dr. Bittner, I got to tell you, I mean, I want to thank you for coming on the show today and actually giving back, because it truly is like I've got to know you a little bit more over the last 12 months, and I know that you don't have to do this. Like, you have a great business, great practice, and a great life. Like, but you're always in that. You're always in. I always talk about expansion, but you're always in that state of expansion, regardless. From what I've learned of you.
Yeah, I'm a guy that just likes to, I don't like to talk much about myself. I'm private. I don't like what people know what I'm on. So this conversation we're having today is tough for me. But the biggest thing is, you're right. I'm always trying to expand my mind. I'm a creator. I like to build businesses. I like to see other people build businesses. I want to see people have what I have. And then I also go see what other people have and go, how do I get that? And then create that. And so, yeah, that's what I love to do. Well, I appreciate it, Dr. Ed, and thanks so much for having me on, and hope this helps one other person.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to thechiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Chiropractic Philanthropist.